G'day mate and welcome to Capital Mystery with me, Jay. During my extensive playthroughs of Capital Mystery, I've built many blueprints which I've shared with you and other members of the community just to try and make all our lives simpler. Just something we could just plop down and know that problem is now sorted. And I was working on a wonderful blueprint designed around, well, poop. Hence I called it the Great Poopinator. And the Great Poopinator was very much designed around having 11,500 people. Why 11,500 people, you may ask, Jenny? Well, it turns out after you build 50 housing number 3 with 230 people each, that brings you out to a nice neat 11,500 people. Also turns out 11,500 people, when put in T3 housing, because it has a slightly increased in water usage, pop out 630 poop per month. So therefore I have to process 630 poop per month. I worked out very quickly that 4 wastewater treatment plants would process 640 poop per month. So we could dump these guys down very quickly. We also wouldn't be over 2 pipes, because that's another limitation. I had to make sure I wanted to keep below 2 pipes worth of input and output for our wastewater facility, because, you know, hooking 3 pipes in can be done, but it's a little more difficult. And this is where the blueprint started. And of course, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the wastewater treatment plants, each processing 36 sludge each, well, I need to have a total of 8 aromatherapy digesters. They are aromatherapy digesters. I don't care what you say. Sludge comes in, fuel gas and compost comes out. The wonderful aromatherapy is digested and they're going to smell wonderful. And that's where the blueprint started. It started fairly simple. You know, we're just going to make a little blueprint, call it the poopinator, and it was going to process poop. And I thought, well, whilst we're at it, I could also probably process biomass, because biomass we could turn directly into compost, and I could whack together some compost. I could take all that compost and add it with a little bit more water, make some organic fertilizer, because we've got to remember this system is water negative. We output 630 poop per month, and that poop per month I turn into, well, 473 clean water is returned, because we get a 75% return on our wastewater, which means I'm a little bit of water short, 281. And then if I add in the extra 24 that would be required for the organic fertilizer, well, I'm at 200 and what did I say? 200 and 305. 305 is the end result. Yeah, 284 water, and that brings it up to 305. So I need to have 305 clean water. And I was like, yeah, a couple of desalinators and problem solved, and that's your wastewater treatment done. But then I went down a rabbit hole. Of looking for better ratios, being able to process the poop better, being able to process all the town's waste better, and that leads me to a very important discovery, and a very important question, and that is, of course, I just like to borrow like. I like to borrow like early in videos. If you're not happy with this video, you're not happy with this design concept, you're not happy with the blueprint, by all means, you can have your like back. But it means I never shared the Great Poopinator. Instead, I went and built the Wastinator, which is built on the same sort of concept, with a couple of minor tweaks. But I want to go through all the maths behind this and also explain exactly how the system works, so you can either grab the blueprint yourself, or maybe you have an improvement. Maybe there is an improvement. Maybe there's some way you can improve this system, but that's why I want to go through the maths with you. Now, you remember back in high school where you told your teacher you'd never ever use algebra in your life? I've got bad news for you. You were wrong, teacher was right. So what we're going to do is we're going to step through the maths. We're going to step through the maths of not the Great Poopinator, but the Great Wastinator, because it got a couple of small upgrades, a couple of tiny things that got improved along the system. So we still have our single wastewater facility, which is designed to have well, just 2 pipes plugged into it. You can do 3 pipes in and 2 pipes out, or hell, you can do 4 pipes in and 3 pipes out, but we're not going to talk about any of those tricks up my sleeve. We'll save those for future videos. So you're going to output 630 wastewater per month. Of that 630 wastewater per month, we're going to run that into 4 wastewater treatment plants, which are going to process the 630 per month and give us back 473 clean water, because we get a 75% refund on our wastewater that we processed in the system. We do get sludge. We also need to find filter medium and chlorine. The good news is the blueprint comes with both chlorine and filter medium included, and that does mean that I am still technically missing 281 clean water to, you know, supplement the people's requirements. Yes. Let's start with filter medium. So filter medium, I need 8. That'd be 16. That'd be 8, 16, 32. Yes, I need 32. The good news is a mixer produces 36. Now, I only need 32, so we can run this system without a problem, but it does mean I need to find coal. Coal's going to come straight in the back, nice and simple. I need to find 24 gravel. 24 gravel is a single crusher. That's nice and simple. On top of that, I can either use manufactured sand or sand. As I already have rock on site, which I can convert into 24 gravel, and then I can convert, well, 8 gravel to 8 manufactured sand with another 8 gravel and another 8 manufactured sand. That means, well, that's going to produce all that I require. So that's going to be our plan. This is where we're going to get our filter medium from, and that'll solve that system. The other thing I need is I need chlorine. I need 16, 32, 64 chlorine. I have a single electrolyzer over here that takes in a whole lot of brine and produces a whole lot of chlorine. It's part of the system. It gets its brine from the closed loop part that we're going to get to in the moment. But that means my chlorine is also solved. Okay, so from there, we're going to output 36 sludge per machine. 36 sludge per machine means I need 2 aromatherapy digesters per machine to make my fuel gas and my compost. So 7.5 fuel gas multiplied by 8 machines means, let's go with 7.5 multiplied by 8 equals 60. So I have 60 fuel gas I need to deal with. That is some part of the system that I need to deal with. Otherwise, the system would back up. On top of that, I have 1.5 compost, which means I have a total of 12 compost. Okay, 12 compost I need to deal with as well. I need to make sure the system doesn't back up. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. Cool. On top of that, I have biomass. Now, biomass, if I have 4 machines, they'll process 24 biomass each. 24 multiplied by 4 means I will process a total of 96 biomass. If we do a quick look at the game, we can see that the town outputs about 94 biomass per month, which is good because we can process 96. Yep, we got a little bit of leeway. The problem is, when it's turned to compost, I can only process 72 compost. Now, we already have 12 compost coming out of the first system, and the second system is going to output another 16 each, being a total of, well, 64, plus 12 being 76. I can only process 72. So as you can see, our first trick up our sleeve is we have a little balancer in here that is going to make sure that we have a priority in from the poop system, because we don't want the poop system back up. We'd prefer it if a system backs up, it happens to be the biomass system, because if the biomass system backs up, it's a little bit of a problem. Just a minor problem, not a major problem, because if you have too much biomass, well, then your excess biomass gets turned to waste. So the town normally outputs a nice, neat 337 waste per month, but if biomass backs up just a little bit, it outputs, we'll call it 340 waste per month. Cool. So now we have a new number we have to deal with. That is 340 waste. Don't forget, we still have all the fuel gas I need to deal with. Also, well, technically I also need to output 96 fertilizer. It's the organic style. Just plug it into a farm. I'm sure you've got a couple of farms somewhere nearby, if not truck it somewhere, and plug it into a farm. Set the fertilization rate to 100%. You know you're going to get 96 every month, every single month without fail, as long as the people keep pooping. I'm yet to find a person that stops pooping. Well, they stop pooping, but then they're dead. But that's okay. They live forever in captive industry. Okay, with our 340 waste per month being trash, we need to burn that, because I figure a good way to get rid of it is to burn it. Now, if I burn it, I need to put it in an incinerator, which means I need 2.36 incinerators to, well, get rid of all that waste. Now, 2.36 incinerators are going to also require some fuel gas. The good news is I happen to have fuel gas on site. I need about 14.17. I'm going to call it 15. We're going to call it 15 fuel gas that I need to get rid of, which means I have about 45 fuel gas left over. I've got rid of 1/4 of it. That's not too bad. But I've also well, made myself more problems. I also need to come up with another 18 water each, which means I need another 42.5 water. That's a bit of a problem. Yeah, we'll come back to that story. I've also produced 72 exhaust multiplied by many machines equals 170 exhaust. 170 exhaust happens to conveniently go in an exhaust scrubber, which will process 180. So I actually have a little bit of leeway once again. And the catch is I need yet more water. That's all right. We'll just add that to our water bill. We'll just work out a tab. We'll work out a tab. We'll take it out. We'll fix it up at the end of the day. I promise. Now, That's going to give us some sulfur and some carbon dioxide. Now, the sulfur, we're going to have to collect in a bucket. It's going to come out here. It's going to pop into a bucket. We'll find a use for that later. Also, we're going to get carbon dioxide. Now, this is designed for super, super late game, where I can turn carbon dioxide directly into graphite and have some sort of use for it. The good news is you output 72 carbon dioxide, you consume 144, so we're not going to have any sort of backup there. But I am now going to produce some low-pressure steam. That low-pressure steam I need to do something with. The good news is, if I have a thermal desalinator, nice and close by, I can put 24 steam in there. If I put 24 steam in there, I can get back 72 water. So if I take 72 water and then I subtract the amount of steam that I need to put in there, it means I have 48 clean water. So I've found 48 clean water already. Sure, I have increased my bill by like, well, these guys added, what, 42 and a half water to the system. You added another, where are you? You added another 24 water to the system. So I'm working off my debt slowly. Now, back to these guys. These guys need to input 18 water and to make 18 steam. Now, 18 steam is 42 and a half steam. Now, 42 and a half steam goes nicely into, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do the math. It goes nicely into 12. It goes nicely into 1, 2, 3 and a half. 3 and a half thermal desalinators will process, well, the steam output from these guys. And that's going to give me, well, each and every one of these guys will give me 66 clean water, because well, you're going to output 78 water, but you're going to consume 12 steam, which was originally water. But that means I have 233.75 clean water. 233.75 plus the 48 from this guy means I'm up to 281.75. If we go back 3 steps, back to, well, this process, I only needed to find 281 clean water. Except I've negated everything here, I've negated everything here. The one thing I haven't negated is, well, the extra 24 water I needed here. So I need to find another 24 clean water. That's all I'm short by, and I've consumed everything. Now, the good news is I have 60 fuel gas. The 60 fuel gas that we haven't forgotten about, and I've consumed 15 of it, which means technically I still have 45 fuel gas left over. Now, if I had a single boiler that, well, burnt 45 fuel gas, rather than 72 it would run at 0.63 speed. At 0.63 speed, outputting 48 steam, it would output 30 steam. 30 steam is, well, 2 of these is 24, and another one running at half speed, being 6, is 30. So that means I would have 2.5 multiplied by 66, means I'd have another 165 clean water. I need to subtract 24 of that from the system, which means I have 141 clean water. After this is all put together, I have 141 clean water left over, which means I have, well, technically an almost closed loop. It's almost closed loop. It's not quite closed because, well, I output a whole bunch of clean water, which comes out this pipe and goes, well, this pipe goes into this tank, and then you need to make some sort of decision with it. There is a catch. There is a catch, and this is not part of the blueprint, because of course I'm going to make this blueprint available to you guys with all the algebra, with all the maths written into the description, so you can confirm whether I'm right, confirm whether I'm wrong, or hell, maybe you can improve it. But there is a small little thing. If I didn't burn 45 fuel gas, but I burnt this at, like, you know, I made this run slightly slower at, like, you know, 1/6 of normal speed, I'd get about 11 clean water. Turns out 11 clean water is all that's required to actually make this system run at net zero, or close enough to it, because, well, as it turns out, we're not quite running these guys at flat out. We're not quite running you at flat out. You could process 180 for 24. We're only running at 170. So I'm not actually using 124 water. I'm using slightly less, which means I'm producing slightly less steam, which means I'm making slightly less clean water, so on and so forth, all the way down the system. Which actually means that if I took my fuel gas and I ran it priority out through this pipe over to these guys, because we need to make sure they have fuel gas to burn off the trash, and then I ran a second priority out over here, and I came over here and I ran into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18. If I ran at 18 or so, statues of maintenance burning 2 fuel gas each, which is what, 36 fuel gas? Yeah, 36 fuel gas minus the 15, 36 plus 15 means I have about 9 fuel gas left over. 9, 10-ish. If I run this particular boiler incredibly slowly, well, then I have a closed loop. Yeah, it's possible to make a closed loop. You can make a closed loop from your trash system where your only inputs are now, well, 2 pipes for seawater, plus a little bit of output from brine, because the brine's got to go somewhere. Technically, you turn it all into salt. All depends on how close your town is to your food production, because, well, food tends to need a lot of salt as well. And honestly, this doesn't output a lot after you've trimmed it right the way down. But I'll leave that bit of mass and that bit of complication to you guys. This is well, not the poopinator. This is the wasteinator. Yeah, this is designed to be a closed system where you could dump it down and, well, you got a couple of options. You can either produce too much water, put a flare on your fuel gas, or just decide to litter the island with Stash's maintenance. Only the first 3 will really help you. Anything over that is just an absolute waste. But then you know you're good up to 11,500 people. If you go to 23,000 people, just build 2 of them. Problem solved. Anyway, with all that said and done, I'm going to leave this particular video here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. And if you're interested in my blueprint, of course, it's on my Discord server. But that's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Bye.